everybody. I am Debbie G. Welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild and Cielo Sober Living and Spiritual Foundation. I'm going to bring up the extraordinary Michele Garcia, but first, I want to play just a quick message that I think you all are going to enjoy.
Along with Justin Falahi and Anthony Ucera, they're here to tell us about what's going on at her spiritual sober living program, Cielo Sober Living. Thanks for being here. Nice to have you back.
Always a pleasure, Patrick. Thank you.
So you guys are integrating a couple of new things, but give people an overview of what you're doing. It is a place for people to come and find peaceful recovery.
Absolutely. I have a spiritual, as I've been told, sober home, meaning, there's the integration of sound healing, meditation, conscious recovery meetings, all of which, and family style dinners, all of which people are invited to come and have an experience with upon calling me and requesting. And then now integrating, finding fitness, which is personal training. We've had a gym, we've always had the gym outside, but this is another level of awesomeness because it's low impact on the body, it's fun, and it's engaging, it's empowering, and health is our wealth, right?
Right, and it's so important to be physically healthy and keeps you spiritually healthy and mentally healthy.
All the pieces.
So you have these two.
Yes.
So introduce us to Justin and Dr. Ucera.
So I've known Dr. Anthony, for quite some time. I had a treatment program I was program director for, and he used to come and bring stuff, and so awesome. And then he introduced me the other day recently to Justin, who opened up a gym right next to his chiropractic studio in Palm Desert. And now they're bringing it to my home, and one of my clients is now becoming a trainer for his program. And I did the actual fitness routine, and impressive. Yeah.
It's a good
15 minutes is like 45-minute workout.
Okay, wow.
So
terrific. Well, and Dr. Anthony gave me a quick adjustment before we came in there, which thank you. I feel much better, loosened up. Now, you guys are going to show us a little something. You brought in, this is a 6-pound weight.
Yes.
So talk me through this and then show it to us.
Yes, so basically it's based on the neuromuscular system, the cardiorespiratory system, and the fascial system. Together, these subsystems integrate to create a more complete movement, and it's healing. When you have fascia, you're dealing with emotion, trauma, things like that. It's the connective tissue in our body. It's always on. So when you get locked up in positions from posture, from staying someplace too long, and you get locked long in the back, we get hunched over. What this does is it empowers you from the inside. So we start to pin the fascia and breathe through it and twist the body, and the fascia will just release itself. So the magic is basically because when you're using it, it activates your glutes and core right away. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to go, oh, how do I turn my glutes on? How do I flex my core? It just does it for you. And then you breathe and turn the body, and through the various movement sequences that I created, you get a very complete workout in a very short amount of time.
Right, and Dr. Anthony, it's important, you work with people and their flexibility, and that's really important.
There's only so much that I can do for you. There's certain things that you need to do for yourself. Only you can breathe yourself. Only you can choose to make certain movements. So that's what the extra core system does.
All right, why don't you demonstrate,
yes,
guys?
I will demonstrate. There you go. I'll have Anthony hold this. And so some basic movements. Here we have a chop and squat here, which we can be used into a twist, chop, squat, twist. We have some other exercises, including this one here, which is really amazing for balance, for stability, and other various exercises for golfers. We have these ones here, which is great. This is going to work on glute and core activation here. Breathing, twisting the fascia, resetting the fascia, but also giving you one heck of a workout. And then resisting forces on the way back, good for the knees, good for the joints. Very, very effective program.
A lot of core work there, too.
A lot of core, a lot of glutes. Very, very, very effective.
All right, so all of this is being integrated into your programs. How do people reach you?
Well, I'm in Cathedral City, and that's near Panorama Park, and they can call my toll-free number.
All right, we can put that up on the screen. I believe we have that.
Absolutely. And they can look at the website.
Yeah, cielosoberliving.com, 877-394-8355 is the number. If you or someone you know is looking for a place to go and find recovery help, reach out to Michele. She will find you a place, and these guys will also step in and make sure that it's for the total mind, body, spirit program.
100%.
All right, thank you. Again, that's cielosoberliving.com. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Have a great day.
And thank you, everybody who's joining. And Michele, that was really good.
Thank you.
That was great.
I wasn't expecting that.
Hey, it's got to spark that G vibe, right? you know.
Mhm.
Everybody, welcome Michele here to the show. And this is just a really special show tonight. We're going to be talking about what happens when your nervous system, you're in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So you're in your rah rah part of your brain, which is back here, and you need to bring it up to the frontal lobe to get into the softer, more empathetic, compassionate spot. And Michele's going to share a lot of tricks and tools. But first, I believe she's going to say a word and bring some special music to the stage.
Yes. So, one really amazing way to calm the central nervous system and to bring harmony within and do a little tuning is to meditate. And I brought one of my crystal bowls. This one's actually tunes the heart chakra, hence the pink quartz, right? And so I'd like to invite everybody to just take a minute, get your feet, I will, grounded, Mother Earth. And just as you close your eyes, allow yourself to drop down into a calm, centered, beautiful place within that you are in your divine loving. You are whole, perfect, and complete. Just take a deep breath in as you hear the resonance through the nose, bringing in the oxygen, regenerating every cell of your being, your brain, everything, all that we are, whole, perfect, complete. Hold that breath and slowly release it out your mouth in a controlled, surrendered breath out the mouth. I'm just feeling yourself drop down one more time around, bringing the oxygen in again. Life force, energy, love, regenerating every cell of your being, literally visualizing your cells in harmony, dancing around. Now, with that breath that you're holding, bring it out. And in the breath out, just feel yourself surrendering to the moment of nowness, that great gift that we all get. And I I offer that you do that mornings, nights, through the days, anytime you can. Just, allow yourself to take time out to get grounded and centered in your loving. Invoke that inner counselor. Ask questions when you meditate and go within, like, where, so you get some answers revealed. Not maybe in the moment of meditation, but perhaps as you move through your day, you start to get the answers that you want, not just randomness, right? So it's a beautiful way to connect to your inner light, to source, to energy, to love. Oh, I can't hear you,
Oh,
Deb.
there we go. Sorry.
We go.
That was
Good.
beautiful, everybody. Well, I had myself muted, so I didn't have
Yeah.
background noise. But we want to say hi to Jay Rothman. Woo, Jay, how's it going?
I
And of
love
course,
it.
Catherine. Hello, my love. And for those watching who have not typed their names into the chat, please do so we can shout out. Do a shout out.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, first things first on the agenda tonight, we are talking about tools, tools of the trade, tools to get your nervous system that's been hijacked back. Because I don't know about you all, but when somebody pisses me off, I get hijacked and I go into fight, or I go into flight, or I go into freeze, or I will go into fawn.
Yeah.
And what about you?
Yeah, there's an acronym. There's a lot of everything that doesn't want to be in the flow when I am in that mode. It's very reptilian brain place. We see you get more reactive, and so slowing it down with some exercise we'll talk about later. But really, one of the acronyms we use that's not so sure, but it's because it's fear, right? So it's fuck everything and run.
Woo! Okay, so we could just fuck everything and run. Let's put it there.
Or we could face everything and recover.
Face
Right.
everything and recover. I like that. Who wants to type that in the chat? Face everything and recover. Face everything and recover.
Yay.
Actually, you know what? I like, fuck it and run.
I thought you might. I was like, ooh, do I really use such a harsh word? But like, I just know it that way. That's the only way I could say. Like, um, it's not addressing what's really going on. And the more we do that, it
Yeah.
accumulates, it piles high, right? And even sometimes those little piles of things that we don't, become a collective, and just we can become explosive at the wrong time. And the most important time, when we really need to be dropping down into our, serenity, and meeting that calamity with some serenity. And that's not always easy in this world. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in LA on the news. I was just like, really, wow. I honestly don't watch the news anymore. It's just too much. It's a,
I No, I mean seriously, really, absolutely agree with you on that. And I have one of the first tools we're going to talk about are sitting in my hand. But before I do that, I'm going to do some shout outs to Ryan. Hello, Ryan. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Matthew. Jose Esmerdio. I,
yeah.
hi, my dear. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you. Type any questions. Hi, Ronit. How are you? I hope I didn't just say your name completely. I wrote, hi, beautiful. Oh my God, she's beautiful. Look at that.
Yeah.
So tonight we're going to talk about these are. I'm going to actually let Michele tell you about what these are.
Oh,
See
look
if
at
you.
that. I'm so happy you got them. So I sent you a couple because you had to have a deck, of course, right? Because first of all, Debbie inspired me to even do that project, which was I was writing a book, and then it just turned into these cards, because she was like, your artwork is so beautiful, Michele. You should literally make that like an affirmation on the back of a card. And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I like
I
really
think I
thought so.
will. One of them is yours, Debbie. So you want to read it for everyone? You're the
I do.
first quote on the back of every card of my nurturing card set.
Without your dark, you wouldn't know your spark.
That's right, Debbie G. And it's a really beautiful picture that goes with it. And then my favorite guru, she's the hugging saint. Her name's Amaji. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she literally hugs people with divine mother's love, and just like, it's amazing. I literally was crying and laughing at the same time in her energy field. And so
Yeah,
she wrote one of my favorite quotes is, love is the foundation of the universe. Love sustains everything. Is
that's
that,
beautiful.
I mean, really, right? And
I do.
then I wrote one, which is just like the lotus flowers, kind of like the logo for my businesses, and just, self-realization temple, really amazing stories in and around that for me. And I just wrote, I'm rooted in divine loving.
Well, let's just stop right there with the I am rooted in divine loving. And everybody, I want, and hi, Temple, what's going on? So, I am rooted in divine loving, and I want everybody to just take a moment. Now, I want you to imagine that you've got somebody pissing you off, like you just literally could envision some pretty horrendous stuff. Like, you know what? Just run into a wall, please, because I just can't take anymore. Because you're in your rah rah, and you're just so coming from that space of edging God out, which is ego. You are just over it, right? And the thing is that when this happens, it's our responsibility to figure out we are in overdrive. We have been hijacked. We have got somebody running the fuck off with our nervous system. They literally stole the bitch and said, hey, what? And guess who's controlling it now? It's not you. You are no longer in the driver's seat. Tools like this are in place to help you get back into the driver's seat. And one of the things I love most about Michele is that she teaches breath work. And so, what I'm going to encourage everybody right now to do is to take a moment with Michele. We're going to go through a breath work exercise. And
Okay.
as we do that, if you guys can type in the chat, I am rooted in divine loving. And we're going to focus on I am rooted in divine loving. I want to encourage everybody to put their hand on their heart when they're doing this with Michele.
Oh.
And as we begin this exercise really quickly, I just encourage you all to say that I am safe, I am valid, and I'm worth it. As Michele now takes us away
So,
into breath.
all right. That's beautiful. I love that. So breath work is one of the most empowering tools. Literally, it's so simple yet so empowering. And I was trained by Michael Baker, I'll just say, who is phenomenal in my humble opinion, and I'm blessed to have known him, worked with him, and be trained by him. And so it's a rebirthing style, and it's kind of cool. That name concept came from the idea that you're literally being rebirthed, right? Rebirth. And so it's a 3-part breath. And, it's funny, like it's kind of hard to do it online, but work with me here on this. Let's do the best we can with what we got. So honestly, like I like put your hand on your heart and your stomach, because here's the thing, you're gonna make your stomach go out as though like you're getting pregnant, like big tummy, like no ego here, just get with it. Like, this is not about look pretty, it's about feel amazing. So, and clearing like nobody, and oxygen regenerates every cell of your being, like I was talking about, but this is a really empowering way to really work with it. I'd recommend you do it every night before you go to bed, as a matter of fact, on your own. So if you can remember this tool as an exercise, game changer. Like, kid you not. So I always recommend 3 minutes of this, and then you stop in between 3 sessions, 3 segments of just like 3 minutes each. And each time you may even feel like you're hyperventilating or you want to yawn. That's just the ego wanting to get in the way. Just move past it. Don't let that stop the flow of your rhythmic, um, deep inner healing that you are learning to do for yourself. This is so empowering. This is not about you relying on anybody else. This is about you getting a tool to empower your own inner healing. Okay. So again, okay. So deep breath in. So it's like when you take the breath out, your belly gets big, right? And then you go. So it's 3 parts. So it's, I haven't done this in so long. So it's out, out, the belly gets bigger, and then release out the mouth. You got it? Keep going. Keep it going. And if you just keep doing that for a little bit, I'm going to play some music while you're doing it. Keep going. Watch what happens if you keep on for a minute. Let's just do a minute, Debbie, at least. Time, if you will. Keep going. Keep going. You'll notice your belly get out. And go slower on the exhale out on these ones. Feel that? Put your hand on your belly so you can literally feel the extending happening. It's not easy. It's not a normal pattern for everyone. You feel it? Keep moving it. Keep going. Keep going. I'm really honoring you if you're going for it. You got it? How are we doing? Keep it going. Keep it going. It's all the mouth. Keep the mouth a little cracked open as you're doing this. No, it's really activating your body. Got
I
a
can,
minute yet? How are
I
we
can,
doing on time?
yeah, we're definitely, I think we're good. I good on the minute.
Okay, so as you release out, feel yourself integrating. Feel the integration of that work. Just be with it for a minute.
Mm.
Notice that oxygen regeneration. Every cell of your being, you're really activated. When we do breath work out the nose, it really activates the brain. Like a lot of the self-realization and yoga stuff is like that. But this is about activating the body,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful and it's really, really empowering you guys. It really does. So oxygen has the capacity, I'm going to repeat it again, to regenerate every cell of your being. So can you imagine that all that we really have to do is just that God gave us the capacity to heal our bodies, minds, souls, and all we have to do is practice a little bit of these kinds of tools on our own, like, or with a group even, or however. I find laying down is easier for this exercise than sitting up for sure. And sometimes people will play music like we did the bowl a little bit. So it helps. And I definitely recommend a timer and then just taking, you can do 3 minutes, stop, integrate, feel it. Another 3 minutes, stop, integrate, feel the handiwork that you've just done. Feel yourself in your body, notice it. You know what? People cry sometimes. Some people have cathartic amazing emotional experiences, releases. It's just about letting go. Don't, and if you get caught up in like crying or something, just start toning because it's really not about a thing, a this, a that, a memory. It's just, that's toning.
Ah,
Go back into the work. Do not let your ego take you on a story. We are not our stories. With this exercise, it's just really about
yep.
clearing. And you know why you can clear trauma on a cellular level that could be from past life shit you're still holding on to in this life.
Yep.
That's how empowering. This is super good for people with combat PTSD that just really can't talk about. I'm trained in talk therapy, but like talk therapy isn't always the best for people with super difficult PTSD that don't need to rehash the story. For them, it's better to just do these kinds of exercises, or maybe sex trauma, just this unspeakable stuff that's just like really amazing. Just allow the healing process. Obviously it's better with like a shamanic person healing you, with you, guiding you. I'm always happy to do the work with people. I think it's an honor. It's a random, I did not know you were going to ask of that today, but I could not give it to you the best that I possibly could virtually, right?
Actually, I think you did really well, audience. Let's go ahead and give Michelle a hand because it was you really can give it to us virtually just as well. You're sparking that
Okay.
G vibe, baby.
Okay.
Sparking that G vibe. It's your good vibe. It's your God vibe.
It's a
It's your
taste.
gratitude vibe.
I love
Tasty,
you.
tasty, tasty, tasty.
Um,
One of the things I know is that breath is the first thing that we take when we enter this world, and it's the last thing that we take when we leave this world. It is our life force, and I mean, it's our chi. And it's always the thing that when we get stressed out and go into fight or flight, we hold our breath. It's just one of the things that we do. You'll feel your body stress out, and everything inside of you tightens up. Sometimes I let myself be in that space and I let myself be angry and I allow myself that emotion in that moment to speak my truth and to allow myself to be perfectly human.
mhm.
Because what I never want anyone to think is that, like, oh, we're not supposed to feel our feels. We're supposed to just do some breath work, because that's not. The breath work is to help calm you back down into your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems, to bring you back to your frontal lobe, back into your heart space. But it's also okay if you haven't been. I can tell you all right now, when I get triggered by something, usually it's to teach me a damn lesson. It's to teach me, it's to show me something, but I can't know what that is until I slow down and do the breath work in which Michelle just showed us.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not somebody who practices, but I know people who benefit a lot from going out to the desert with with someone there and throwing like rocks and like cathartic, like yelling and just like releasing in those kinds of ways too. So, vibration holds energy, and sometimes, it helps to just like until you get to the tears, until you get dropped down into the pain, the stuff, what's really going on, right? Because anger is like first emotion, right? For most, and some people go right into sad. It varies, but it's interesting, and I appreciate that you kind of spoke to that, because not a lot of people talk about, like, having a voice is really, really important. But the practice of meditation helps you speak past the first thought, because our first thought, and then we can discern and choose which thought we're going to go with, instead of just being impulsive.
Right.
That's just, and sometimes like going for a walk, right?
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, I did that. I did that. I went for a walk. Well, let me tell you that what I know is that anger is based on fear, false evidence appearing real. That false evidence, and then slowing myself down long enough when I'm angry to say, is this really true? And getting really curious with myself to say, what's happening for you right now? Why is this hurting so much? What is the real evidence underneath all of that? The real evidence is the need to be loved, and the need to be seen, and the need to be understood,
oh my
the
God.
need to be human. And in my humanness, to recognize that when I'm lonely and somebody's triggering me and I've been alone for so long, that it feels painful because I'm already alone. And so my false evidence appearing real was, am I being abandoned by the words that are being spoken, or is this a story I'm telling myself based upon perception? And is it really true? Does it really matter? It is what it is. Is this helping me or harming me? It's the questions we ask ourselves and the curiosity. And underneath the fear, the false evidence appearing real, is
Yeah.
usually some shame about why you're in a situation you're in, some shame about how the hell did this happen, some shame where you're beating yourself up, gaslighting yourself into oblivion. And what I'm here to tell you is that, truthfully, you are a divine, unique being on this planet, and worthy and deserving. And the reason I wanted to get on here and talk about this, especially with Michele, is that this is something that she and I both have lived through so many different times.
Mhm.
If y'all, it's not easy being human, but we're here to tell you how to maybe do human just a little bit easier. And I want Michele to talk on shame a little bit, because she's also one of the facilitators for conscious recovery. Conscious recovery was created by TJ Woodward. If you all know TJ, he's an incredible being. Michele, of course, is one of their top facilitators. And I seriously, it's incredible. So I could speak to your accolades all day long, but
Oh my God, you're so
this
sweet.
this particular uh, talk about shame through the eyes of what consciousness looks like.
So, thank you, Debbie. You're so, I love, there's a word we use in therapy. It's called prizing. And she's always prizing me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like
I love
so
her.
appreciated and noticed and heard. And that means a lot. It speaks volumes. And I think, you were talking about like all the self-centered fear being the root of most of our resentments. And through the years, I've learned that. And one of the many ways to heal is the conscious recovery, format. It's really great way to take a look at how we really are not broken. We really are whole, perfect, and complete. And there's so many cool chapters that discuss, what is emotional trauma, physical, all the different aspects. Kind of like my nurturing cards are also talk about the different aspects. We nurture every aspect of the being, physical, emotional, mental, joy and well-being. Let's not forget that, and spiritual, and just looking at action step that help support each one, and doing exercises so that we're balanced. I think balance is so key. I mean, that's one of the things I love about yoga. So it's a bright light. They can't see that, but it's fun that the cards actually have lines where you can write it out, but you can write it on paper so you can actually use it again.
It is too
Uh,
bright, so sorry.
yeah. So I was, and you reminded me of the compassionate forgiveness work we do in spiritual psychology. So I went to school, completed a master's program for spiritual psychology. And in that, one of the most of every time we practice it, we always end up looking at what we need to forgive, because forgiveness work really allows us to be in our divine loving, which I consider, our natural state. That's like really where we want to be. All the other stuff, the fear, it just kind of gets in the way, right? And so I want to invite everyone to just practice. I know that's so I want everyone to invite everyone to do this together. Joe, you did this with me before and you loved it, and I love you, and I hope to see you soon hiking in Arizona. But anyway, so take a deep breath in, hands on the heart. Let's close our eyes. So I forgive myself.
I forgive myself.
Everyone say, there you go, say it back out loud. So if you're at home, say it out loud. So you guys can too. There's people in the room. So I forgive myself.
I forgive myself
For buying into the belief
for buying into the belief
that I am not enough.
that I am not enough.
Because the truth is,
Because the truth is,
I'm doing the best I can
I'm doing the best I can
with where I'm at.
with where I'm at.
Now I really want you to visualize yourself emanating divine love onto that inner beautiful child of yours, into your being. See the illumination from your healing hands brighten this inner child. Visualize that inner child joyfully accepting that love that you're implying, that compassionate loving, that knowing that you are absolutely doing the best with you can with where you're at.
Yes.
And that you don't need to buy into these ideas that we place upon ourselves that are old ideas, perhaps. And so then let's do one together that's for other people. First, you always start with yourself, and maybe you do some inventory, however you go about doing it, and get more specific about what's really going on. I did a very general one. Debbie spoke to it about, this idea that I'm not enough, right? Like, so a lot of people get the notion, whether they are aware of it. It's all about becoming aware. And sometimes we just laugh at it when we see it on paper, when we do the work with someone and talk it through. Like, it's kind of funny sometimes. And sometimes, well, not so funny, but we can go in and do this work. Eventually you do get to I think one of the beautiful things about doing our inner work and getting to know who you really are is that eventually you can laugh at yourself. That nothing can like mess with you that hard. Like you can, because you, at least if you're working on that, you know this about you. This is something that, and honestly, that's a very freeing position to be, where you don't take it personal anymore, because you just know who you are. And when you're doing the work, and maybe it's something like that's new and you're like, oh, well, I'm willing to work on that. I'm willing to hear that today. Okay. And maybe it's just a perception of someone, but you're willing to take a look at stuff, and that's key. Okay, so new one. So let's close our eyes, hands on our heart, and again, visualize your inner child within you, whatever that looks like for you, the cute little boy. Put both your hands on both your hands. There you go. And I really want you to use those healing hands of yours. Your hands are conduits for healing, exiting energy, as well as bringing it in. So are your feet. So feel your feet rooted, planted on Mother Earth when you do this as well. Backs are straight. Let's take it in. I forgive myself.
I forgive myself
For the judgments.
for the judgments
I placed.
I placed
On
on
others.
others.
I'll make it real general. You can actually be specific if you just happen to be placed a judgment on someone. We do it sometimes, and just throw that out there. So on so-and-so, because they're doing the best they can
Because they're doing the best they can
with where they're at.
with where they're.
Yeah. And now I send them white light, love, and protection. And
Now I send them white light, love, and protection.
Protection. I threw that in. So, why do we do that? Because if we are all one, and really, we are in an omnipresent field, which is probably the most, we're all collectively really are, every life force energy is one. So if that's so, how wouldn't I want harmonizing happening with every living force? So we pray for others. And at first you may only be doing this verbally and not feeling it in your heart, but trust me, eventually I've done these exercises like a 90-day medicine. Pray for that person to have whatever you would want for you or better. Imagine that, to somebody who may have actually caused harm on you. But you know why we do this? Because we want to end that cycle. We want people happy. That will make you happy in turn, and other people, and less harm. And you know, that's so key, and it's not always easy, and that's why we do the inner work, forgiving ourselves first before we can, really step into for asking for forgiveness for others. And our heart is pure and good, and really it's only fear that makes us have other thoughts around stuff. So this is I just one way I hope could be helpful for you. Some people, just like with the breath work that I extended, do it before they go to bed, like an inventory,
Yeah.
spot check, like, hey, let's see, how did I do today, what could I have done better? Do I have an ill feeling about a person, place, or institution? Maybe like what's going on in LA and all this uproar. Take a deep breath. And so, honestly, for me, I remind myself what Gandhi said, one of my favorite quotes of all time: be the change you want to see. So be about it in your day to day life, whatever that looks like. Right?
Well, I agree. And I love that. And
Oh,
I think the biggest thing is that remembering we are so perfectly human in our imperfectness, and that we're not alone in this. We all have had fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. We've all been through COVID now. We all can say we understand what
yeah.
it's like to have anxiety, to have PTSD, because I haven't talked to a person that wasn't affected in some manner. We are all, just because you just said that we're all connected. So why wouldn't we want other people to be happy? Absolutely. You also said that you want to get to a point where you're not taking it personally. That the reason we're praying for other people and bringing them the divine light is because that is what we want for ourselves, or we want them to have that or better,
Mhm.
because we're standing up in service that way, and we're standing up in our observer space and not our ego space. Though I find it hard to sometimes not be in my ego space because I am human. And what I guess I'd want people to hear is, hey, it's all right to be human sometimes.
I want to say something real quick where, as it relates to that, there's a lot of
Yeah,
misconceptions about ego. There are aspects in therapy that are very important about getting to know the ego,
for
but
sure.
when it's dark or when it's not serving us, that we want to release the ego. When it's ego driven, or it's just like old ideas that aren't working anymore. That's when we want to release it. But having a persona, having a way of being, having a things that you believe in, having a voice, that's a part of ego, essentially, because bottom line, the end of the day, it's all about your relationship with God, right? But this stuff, it makes fun. It's this game of dance of life. We don't want to
Totally.
stop being in our, we're spiritual beings having lots of fun human experiences. Think about it like that.
Well, it is kind of, yeah. Without your dark, you wouldn't know your spark. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously. But it's also the fact that our minds, we can take control of them. We can
Yeah.
take control. And I think for me now, it's like I know when I'm pissed and if I'm choosing to be mad, I can also walk away from it. But sometimes the ego for me is my GPS. It's showing me things. It's saying to me, you might need to do some more work here. You might want to really look at the changes that you might want to implement here. And so start having fun with it is kind of the trick, because you say that, okay, getting to the point where we can laugh at ourselves. I want you all to think about a time that was a long time ago where you made an ass out of yourself. Does it matter today? And can you laugh about it? Because I know I can think of about, oh boy, I put myself in some precarious positions
Mhm.
that I now sit back and go, oh my God, did I do that? Sort of like the Urkel. Did I do that? Because it's really about the fact that I don't know, how badly can you screw it up, really?
Debbie, like one of the things I learned going to school with therapy and on both sides of the coin, that shame is really the most painful human
Yeah.
emotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guilt, shame, right? Shame is guilt turned inside out. And
Totally.
I just want to say, the faster we can turn it into gratitude, the faster that we can look at how can I be grateful for this opportunity that's showing up for me to grow, that's being presented. That moves, shifts, the shift happens, right? Where you go from, I'm feeling shame, I'm feeling like a low vibration experience of yourself.
Yep.
So then the mind can shift the perception, and wow, this is where life is giving me the opportunity to grow in this area. What's coming up for me? Like, so find that pearl of wisdom with, your mentor, your friend, on a piece of paper, however you see fit, with God, meditation, however, but
Totally.
go for it. Because the thing is, I keep getting the same lesson unless I grow and learn from it. And that's boring. That's not fun. Because
It
you
is
find
actually,
yourself
it's not
like,
bad.
yeah, it's like,
It
what,
is not bad.
really, again, like, but this time it's green and this time it's red and this time it's the same thing.
Right.
Ray taught me that one time. He was like, oh, until I learned the lesson from something, I just kept getting the same girl, but different colors. Like, she's green now. It's a
I love
metaphor,
that.
but it was
And
cute. That was really
thank you.
hilarious.
And thank you, Dr. Ray. Dr. Ray is a wonderful psychotherapist over at Advanced Therapeutic Services, and a delight to know. So
A
I'm glad
very
that,
dear friend. We like to
yeah,
talk.
we
We
need to
like to
bring,
talk.
we need to bring his self on here. You
Okay.
know, I love that you brought up gratitude, and because I have to tell you about something. So the other morning I was laying there and I'm thinking to myself exactly what you just said. How am I going to shift this? What am I going to do to shift this? And I look out of my window and I see all of the trees, and Michelle is just here. So she knows I have all of these trees, which are super full right now. Right. And I could hear the birds chirping, and they're like, we're just a symphony of birds.
And sometimes hail.
And sometimes hail, and we've been having thunderstorms like crazy. But yeah, it's about finding those moments, and that is how that you shift it. And acceptance, a lot of people say, well, I can't get into gratitude about this. And I say this, well, I say with those moments, I wish I could be in gratitude about this, because your brain is going to soak it in. And pretty soon, all of a sudden, you're going to turn around and you're going to be, oh shit, I'm like grateful for this. Wow. And I've been in some positions where gratitude was very, 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 very hard to find. Like back in 2018, I had an experience where I had to figure out how in the hell I didn't know from point A to point B how I was going to get there.
Mhm.
I wasn't sure how life was lining up for me. And I was really questioning God and really questioning the universe and kind of needing a bit of a ambulance, because I was seriously going into victim mode. And it was at that time when I sat back and I went, what's the worst case scenario?
I love
And
that. Yeah.
yeah, what's the
Keep
damn
going with
worst?
it.
What's the worst thing that's going to possibly happen? And then I thought to myself, okay, well, I might be in my car and I might be camping out in my car. And well, what am I going to do there? Well, I'm going to turn that shit into an adventure. I'm going to turn life into an adventure, and I'm going
Have
to
you
not
ever heard
worry
of
about it.
Landmark, Debbie?
Oh, yeah.
So
Actually,
I
better.
got to, they do that in Landmark. They keep saying, okay, and then what? And then
And then what?
keep taking it all the way down, all the way, right? Until there's nothing left. And you're like, okay, yeah, like, what are you
Exactly.
afraid of? And then you
So,
keep breaking it down.
well,
It's a good exercise.
how badly do y'all think you can screw shit up? If you're listening to this right now or in the future, I want you to just think about it. How badly can you really screw shit up? I have been through so much. And in this time at 57, I know this. And Michelle she's been through just as much. At some point, you sit back and realize you can't really screw it up. It's really here for our divine purpose. And if we turn it into an adventure and reframe, which is what the nervous system resetting is about, is reframing, we're not going to be in the same place tomorrow as we are right now. It just isn't going to happen. And I'm telling you, I've done this. And Michelle, like, I had to. Jay says, the trees and the birds chirping. Exactly.
Nature. I love the nature aspect.
Exactly.
Nature takes me back to when I meditate. It seems like all of a sudden I'm hearing birds that I wasn't hearing or paying attention. I do it in my cold plunge, and then I always hear the birds. I'm like, wow, I love that. Like, but I wasn't hearing them a minute ago. It's so bizarre, but because our inner dialogue can get like disruptive to what's really
Oh
going on
God.
with nature, which is way more God-centered always for me. I don't know, it helps me drop down into my divine love, and just really be in the gratitude. Debbie, you're like the queen of gratitude. I mean, she talks about, oh, I was upset, but like her upset lasts for, I don't know, totality of like a little bit, and then she just is back into her joy, which she shares. I wanted you to be able to share some of the things like listening to music and dancing that we got to do together, because I really feel that's
Yeah.
another way that doesn't get talked about enough. Like people are always talking about like doing the shadow work, which is so cool. I'm all about it. But like, what about joy and well-being, right? What do you do to experience your joy, and what's fun to you? For it could be as simple as just turning some music on that you really like. You forget. I think every house should always have music. I love music. What else could you do that you simple things that don't even cost money, by the way? Like there, you can find stuff to do. Those
I
are
love
easy.
that.
Let's get really creative. What doesn't cost money that brings you joy to do, that can shift you from feeling not so good to feeling your joy.
I love that. So I want you guys, if you're available, type in the chat. What kind of things do you find happiness in and joy in? I was saying today that happiness is an inside job, and it is. Nothing's just because you think that things are going to be, you're going to be happy when it's not. So by looking for the things you find joy in now,
Mm-hmm.
and Michelle and I, okay, so when I'm in California, we go out dancing, and it is so much fun. We just kind of wing it and say, okay, universe, where are we going? What are we
Oh
going to
my God.
do?
I know.
Yeah, we're okay.
So
Like we're going to go by this one place. No. And then like, I found joy.
100% we had our mindset we're gonna go there, and then like it was like such a hard no when we got there with the line
Such
and
a
all
no,
this.
such a no.
And
Go.
then we just go down the street and it was like live music band and like the coolest people and best atmosphere, and it's so it's just like I think like it was about being open to the flow and just not being so set in ways. Like when we get so set, and trust me, I can do that sometimes because I think I need to finish my list of things to do, right? And it's just, I mean, there's, yeah, you know what, exactly, Jay, there's so much connection, soul connection through dance and music. It's literally been done since ancient times, and that's a very good reason why, because it works. Just like sound healing, gongs, all that, that's been done since ancient times. It's nothing new.
Well, I found a lot of joy in bacon wrap dates at y'all. Because,
Oh
because,
no,
no, where
these
we
are
were,
my get down.
oh,
They're I just
that's
told
a
her almond butter filled dates. I don't do
almond
meat though. That's a vegetarian version. I
almond
love
butter.
it.
Okay, well, I love that because when you were here, I made, I have these date bites I make. You guys, I'll just give it to you real quick. It's simple and easy peasy lemon squeezy. What you do is you open the date, take out the seed, open it up, put some peanut butter or some almond butter in the middle, melt some chocolate, pour it across the top. If you want to get real fancy, you can put a little agave on
Mm.
top before you put the chocolate on top, and then sprinkle it with some sea salt, put it in the freezer for 4 or 5 hours, and you have yourself a really super healthy, high protein little treaty treat.
Best candy. I had one when I was in Colorado at her house. I was like, what? This is ridiculous. I that's another one is cooking is so nurturing to the soul. I
Oh, yeah.
love making stuff. I love sharing stuff, even if it's a protein drink and just putting all the good stuff in it. Like, oh, it's so good. It's like cravings for whatever. Like you think you might want to, I don't know, eat some junk food or whatever. Like it's always so much better to have like something that's enriching in my humble experience and guilt free, like it's just honoring the body on so many levels to eat clean and do that for yourself and others.
I totally agree. And I'm not going to tell you all that the bacon wrap dates were clean because they weren't. But,
But she was so
oh,
happy eating them that
you
I
have,
became happy.
you have no idea. It's like my favorite date out there on it. Oh my God. This place is just, it's in Palm Desert. Santa Fe, Vicky's of Santa Fe, Vicky's of Santa Fe. If you're ever out there, y'all need to go try their dates. Oh, Lord. It's just one of those things, you know?
We
Jace's
grow
house
them
is
here, so that
spoken.
kind of helps. This is like capital for dates.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's the
dates,
best dates on the
yeah.
planet. You know, you were talking about mind, body, spirit, because the fact, one thing I do know is if I'm eating food that is processed and really hard for me to digest and da 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 da, all of a sudden, guess what? I'm not functioning as high. I'm not as high vibe. I'm not feeling as well because it's affecting my everything. And so, what I do love is that if y'all are tuning in to Cielo Spiritual Foundation, she does share some awesome shakes and some great recipes and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's very true. Oh, no, it's very true. So,
Debbie, do you remember that when I was at the hydrotherapist today, I sent you something and you're like, oh my God, I like this on your phone. Could you read that for everyone? Because I just thought that was on point, epic, and
well,
definitely
I certainly can. Let me grab my phone. And in the meantime,
the
y'all,
good one.
check out this commercial from Cielo Sober Living.
Welcome to Cielo Sober Living, a spiritual haven in Coachella Valley, featuring 12-step work, sound bath meditation, conscious recovery meetings, and other holistic practices to build a strong foundation. Michele Garcia brings value to the program with a holistic approach. She guides and supports residents with care and dedication. Meals are provided, and dinner is shared together each night. Experience a safe and nurturing environment that fosters growth and healing. To learn more about our transformative offerings at cielosoberliving.com or call 877-394-8355.
You guys, Cielo Sober Living. You who, you ho. Hello. Here you go. There is, in case you all need it. Okay. I'm going to
You made that commercial for me. I'm so glad you kept that in the loop. That was really sweet.
absolutely. So, okay. You can have 100 problems in life until you have health problems. Then it's your only problem. Suddenly, the things that used to stress you, money, relationships, deadlines, feel very insignificant. Without health, even the best things in life lose their meaning. Health isn't just a small part of life, it's everything. Yeah, I absolutely loved that. Love that.
Your health is your wealth.
Your health is your wealth. And I have had some serious illness. I have had things that have almost taken me out. Literally. I had a hysterectomy, Michele, and I got a MRSA staph infection. And within 3 days of having the surgery, I get out of the hospital, and within 3 days, I'm put into ICU. And I stay in ICU for almost a month. My children are younger. This is absolutely terrifying for them. The whole thing is a disaster. But why? Because I had an infection. The problem is that, I don't know. The problem is that I did not at the time realize what I know now.
Right. Yeah.
You know, what came out of that for me was a different viewpoint on life because I had home nursing care. They didn't think I was going to make it. And so I started looking at life a lot differently, but your health is your wealth, like you just said. And one of the things I love about Michele is that you literally could teach nutrition right now. You could teach people nutrition. This isn't
I
a
think
joke.
I want to. You sent me a link. Remember that link on
You think
nutrition?
she needs
Natural
to.
nutritional counseling online 6-month course. And I want to do it just for the certification and fun and see what
Right.
else I could learn, right? But it's been such a prevalent part of my life, basically my life journey. So it's almost just pretty natural to share in those ways for me. Yeah, so it's always good to see what else can we learn, right? What else is there? And so thank you, Debbie. You always encourage me to do things, to learn and to grow, to create. I mean, and really, you are seriously one of my heroes, but as it relates to overcoming stuff in your life, like you were, you had the drop foot, and then you went to see an acupuncturist, and you overcame that. And I really
Yep.
think people get stuck in their mind thinking like, oh, but it won't work for me, you know. And she didn't have like a mild case of it, as she explained. She really did, and she's overcome so many things. It's not my place to say what, but like so many things that like it's just proof like that, you know, we can overcome anything if we do the work. And a lot of it, correct me if I'm wrong, Debbie, a lot of it relates to getting to the core issue and harness. I loved what you talk about, like with the drop it, like you're like, it's about dragging something along with you, like releasing that. Like that's such a spiritual connecting aspect of the whole experience of that. And like how to overcome it would be so radical change. I mean, that's like the metamorphosis of, you know, the caterpillar to the butterfly kind of. That's where they give that analogy because it truly is like, wow. We
Yeah.
are all like, wow, like we all, I mean, we all have our stuff, but I always marvel in some of your things that you've overcome, like some big ones.
Well, it's kind of a trip, because I don't really think about it. Thank you for that recognition. I love that. But what I know is that, like, just our health is everything. And I want to talk about you. You really bring up a good topic that we can actually go into the close of our show with, everybody. And that is self care, self nurturing. And what
Mhm.
does your self care look like? Mine looks like fingernails. It can look like I ordered hiking boots. I am joining a hiking club.
What? You're
Yes,
serious? I
I
love
did.
it.
I did. And this coming August, there's a couple of different things we're going to be doing. Michelle's going to be going to Sedona, so I'm going to join her there. And also, I
It's
have a
actually Scottsdale, but I'll go through Sedona just to
yeah,
meet Joe because
Jay, Jay,
Jay, I want to meet Jay. We
Jay.
haven't met in person yet. He's a spiritual being that does hikes in Sedona, and I'm
Yeah.
all over hikes. I love hikes. What does he say? When you step into overcoming medical conditions, you learn more about how strong you really are. I
Jay knows
concur, Jay. Yes.
so
I love
firsthand. He totally knows Jay. Jay knows this firsthand too, about
star quote.
completely. So,
Rock star quote.
yep, I love that.
I've overcome mental health stuff back in the day when I first got sober. I've overcome a lot as well, and I get that on a very visceral level.
So, self care, Michelle. I am going to ask you to share just how do you start? You guys are going to love this. How do you start your mornings?
Uh,
Watch
so,
this.
um, she's so funny. Okay, so let me see. So I wake up. I listen to Sanskrit mantras when I sleep. So I wake up to that actually, and so that's kind of like it's their prayers. It's a highest vibration. I feel like to source energy, and I know most of the songs by heart, so it really makes my heart sing. And then I go and I say prayer. I pray for others. You know, I drink my water with lemon. I do my, just healthy shots and take my supplements. And the shots I mean like turmeric and fun stuff like matcha or whatever. And then I usually make some cacao and I sip on that. And then I have a big thing of water with lemon, and I go and I drink it in my infrared sauna. That's why I'm laughing because I know she knows I have like these rituals. And really, I think it's fun to make it fun and do rituals. And honestly, like, there are times where I do different stuff, but this is pretty much most of my mornings. And then I go in my cold plunge, and then I take a shower and I go about my day. I usually go to hot yoga in the morning and I do a 60 or 90-minute class. I love it. I think it's a great way to get, it's like a moving meditation for me. But life is a moving meditation for me. I think we all have our rituals, but if we can think about life as a moving meditation, it's far more beautiful. And we're far more apt to, pause when we're agitated instead of react and make the better choice or maybe say something from a place of our loving rather than, fear. So yeah, that's
I
my
really,
mornings most of the time. And she knew it and she's put me on the spot.
well, because she does this every day. And the thing is that if you're going to listen to people, listen to those that are doing it. They're not doing it perfectly. They're doing it. They're out there saying, "Hey, look at I'm doing this thing." Thank you. Yes, we love that. As a matter of fact, I really highly recommend these infrared saunas. You can get a hold of Michelle if you'd like to purchase one. They're under
Oh yeah.
$2,000. Yeah, I mean, and they're really
We
phenomenal
ordered.
because they're portable.
Yeah, we did a talk show with him, so you can look on our YouTubes at the talk show with him. He's very, oh my gosh, this guy way back in the day has been doing sauna, and he knew everything and you could possibly know. And this guy, because I mean, this guy came out with a sauna. They, after doing tons of research, it literally, like, the frequency was with water, and water sound vibration is very much more gentle and to us in the way that it does what it does, and it heats up immediately, no wait, no time, so that's kind of wow. I was impressed.
I was too. And I really think if you guys, seriously, you just hit Michelle up at closoberliving.com. Again, it's closoberliving.com. And if you're interested in purchasing one of the infrared saunas, which I think is a really grand idea, quite frankly, I'm going to do one here. I have a sauna here on the property,
Yeah.
and Michelle actually has another sauna as well. But what the heck?
Yeah,
What
it
the
was
heck?
it was so inexpensive, and
Oh, check this out. I have a sunlit infrared lighten
infrared sunlit and sauna, beautiful,
plus
beautiful.
a sauna
Lots of
blanket.
so I have the sauna blankets for my clients at Cielo. I love it.
What is a sauna blanket? Help me out.
It's like a sleeping bag you get in, and it just heats up at the far end.
Okay,
It's
but she also has speaking of self-care, she has a massage pad that when you sit on her couch, she turns it on and she puts your feet into the little massagers, and then she puts she of course has professional essential oils which are incredible, and
oh,
she's doing your feet, you're smelling these incredible essential oils, and then she's doing a sound healing. So that's what it's like when you're at Cielo Sober Living, as well as seriously bomb food. I just Sunlighten is the company. Cool. Thank you very much. That's awesome.
nice.
Okay. Yeah, seriously. Just it's an incredible space. So if you're in the Palm Desert area and you want to come to one of her sound baths, just watch her Facebook page for when her dates are, when she's going to be playing live. It's usually on Thursdays at 6 p.m., I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Am I
No,
right?
now we're doing it on Mondays, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mondays.
So, do we have any questions? Did people come up with questions? Because I love questions, and I encourage people to write in the comments some questions or comments that might be interesting.
Any questions, anybody? We're coming to the top of the hour here, so if you have any questions, pop it in the chat. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. So Einstein said, "I'm not smart. I'm just curious." So be curious.
Oh God, curiosity is like the best. Curiosity is literally the lifesaver when we get curious. I love that.
Best way to learn. Ask questions.
Yeah,
Right.
if it flips the script whenever we use curiosity, like why am I feeling this way? Is this really true? Is this really true?
Mhm.
Is it really true?
Mhm.
Probably no, because if I'm going to speak only for myself, when I'm affected by another person's whatever, and I say, "Is this really true?" Well, no, because they're doing it from their perspective. It's not
Mhm.
mine. So,
Mhm.
um, I thought we were going to do a process together. We did. What would you like to
Well,
do, sweetheart? We could do one more. We can stay. We can do another process.
what would you like? We can do. Well, you can get my nurturing cards to do processes on your own on all the aspects of your being, and there's a guide, literally a guide for $11.11, and they're so pretty and fun and easy to use. And it's on my website, closf.org. That's the nonprofit that deals with spiritual retreats and, you know, podcast show and all that fun stuff. So yeah, there's that. And the money and proceeds go to keep helping people in recovery and people programming and different fun stuff, that events we all get to do because of you and our
well,
collectiveness.
let's do the
That's
I
what we do.
am oh yay, let's do
I am,
this.
I am that I am.
I am that I am that I am that I am. And by the way, y'all, you know what you should do? Love you too, Jay. He's got to jump. All right, love. Thank you
Bye,
so much.
Jay. Mwah.
Well, really quickly, what we'll do is I'll read this out to you, and then you guys can either type your affirmation in the chat or just write it down at home. I am presence, cultivating my spirit. Today I honor my I am presence by writing an affirmation rooted in the spiritual principles I wish to embody, such as compassion, faith, courage, and humility. Call forth your highest self. Write a personal I am statement that reflects the spiritual qualities you are ready to nurture. Let it be a living seed in your daily walk with spirit. Write your I am affirmation. So, my I am affirmation is I am divinely blessed and I am divinely unique. And I am that I am, which is the name of God. I am that I am in the book of Genesis. I am worth it. I am incredible. I am here to be of service. I am that I am. I am here to be of service is probably one of my favorites. What about you, Michele? Any I ams?
I am white light energy love. I am of maximum service to God and my fellows. I am the best version of myself today that I can possibly be. I am in alignment with source energy love. I am living my best life. I am celebrating in harmony, in the highest good, all that I can and all that I am as whole, perfect, and complete.
Mm.
I am grateful for all of my friendships, my beautiful, loving family that's supportive, and I am offering my love as I move through this day in light of all that is blessed. Which is everything, right? So everything is really, it's all perception. If I can see the good in you, I'm seeing the good in me. And it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Well, I'm going to thank you so much for being here tonight. Michele, you have just been amazing. I have a cute little video that it's just hilarious. And you guys, we'll just go out of this. We're going to lift the vibration up. Let's roll it.
Everything that exists is vibration. You must first call in love to receive it. I'm a magnet, attracted. Feel the love coming to me, I have it. I'm a magnet, no attachments. I receive and deserve life's magic. I'm a magnet, it's automatic. Got a whole lot of love, you could have it. I'm a magnet, attracted. Feel the love coming to me, I have it. I don't have to force it just to get it. I speak it out loud and the universe will print it. The people in my corner always grinning. Got a smile on their face, they be happy see me winning. I feel the love, I let it all in. Already on its way, here it comes, it's so beautiful. I'm patient when it's hard, I don't quit. I just call it right in, sounds something like this.
So everybody, that is Abel Hart. Abel Hart. I love him. He is just so rad. Up and coming. If you don't know who that is, look him up on YouTube. Look him up on TikTok. This has been Spirituality Gone Wild with Cielo's Spiritual Foundation. And I welcome everybody to visit cielosoberliving.com. Please, cielosoberliving.com. If you know somebody in need and they are going into recovery and need a place to stay and really want to do healing work, I invite you all to please go to Michele's facility. Call Michele, please, right away.
Yeah. Hey, but I want to invite you somewhere too, where I got to go just not so long ago, which is called Gratitude Ranch. I never even knew, on 20 acres near what is the most epic God-centered visual, which is like the Great Dunes, and so many other amazing like things to go see. It is the desert of Colorado, and Debbie is the founder owner, and she has an Airbnb there that is game changer, amazing, and so incredibly inexpensive. It's ridiculous. Like you would just like, oh, should I just live here? I don't know.
I love it. Yeah, the Alamosa Gratitude Ranch. We are by the Great Sand Dunes. It is phenomenal. So y'all can find us on bookings.com and Airbnb. Thank you, Michelle. I love that.
Yes.
It was so much fun. Yeah, if we could just like teleport you back, I'd be really thrilled.
Oh my gosh.
All right, everybody. We will see you again soon.